Welcome to the Live Full, Work Fun podcast. This is the show to encourage you to live your life to the fullest and do fun work that fuels your lifestyle. Hi, I'm your host, Gayla Scrivener. Every week, you'll be introduced to amazing guests, useful resources, and inspirational stories. You'll discover opportunities and perspectives to shape your version of living full and working fun. Hi there, and welcome to the Live Full, Work Fun podcast. This season, we're exploring the theme, Don't Let the Start Stop You. It's a powerful reminder that while beginnings can be daunting, they're also the gateway to growth, success, and happiness. Throughout this season, Fran and I are discussing how to push through those initial difficulties and take that important first step towards big goals, even when it feels overwhelming. Now, I'm Gayla Scrivener, and here is Miss Fran Attilio. Hey, Fran.
Hey, Gayla. I'm excited for today's conversation. This is an important topic for growing any business, and it often gets overlooked, or sometimes when we say the words, you'll get that look of confusion, like, what is this? And today we're going to talk about CRM systems, which stands for Contact Resource Management, or Customer Resource Management, or Customer Relationship Management. However you want to say it, it's about how you manage the different customer relationships you have and keep track of them and use them for better engagement. It is, to me, the pot of gold that everyone's looking for, and they don't realize they already have it.
Right? I agree with you. Sometimes when I mention CRM, I get this glazed look from folks. And I think that whether you're just starting out in a business or you've been in business for a while, especially if you're a solopreneur, you have a system contacting folks. It may not be an organized system, but what's really important in having a CRM is that things get organized. I come from a medical background, so I am well versed in patient databases. So when I transferred from my previous life to my current life, I knew right away that I needed to have a system to organize my clients, my prospects, my contacts. I'd go out networking and I'd need to remember certain things about folks so that I can have better conversations with them in the future. And working in the medical field, our patient databases, that's all that was. It had the billing, it had their demographic information, it had notes, so that anyone in the organization, anyone in the doctor's office knew what was going on with that patient and could pick up where one would leave off. That no one person needed to have everything in their head to know what was going on with that particular patient. So in the business world, organizing what's rattling around in your head as a solopreneur, it is good to implement a CRM system sooner than later.
I agree. So this is, to me, the most important element. And you could have the greatest plans if you don't have this component. It's not going to work. And as you were talking, especially considering coming from healthcare. Now, I did not work in healthcare the way you did, but I did work for my uncle when I was in high school. And I was in charge of filing back then. There were paper files, but there was a very organized system for this. And there was a word that just came to mind, and it's centralized. That C in CRM can also be centralized. What that means is, instead of having a list of contacts in your phone, in somebody else's computer, even if you're a solopreneur, what if you have some of the contacts in your Google or your Outlook, you have some in your phone, you have some in your Google Voice, you have some here, some there. You can't take advantage of the full impact of the complete and powerful list you have because it's fragmented. So the idea with a CRM is you get it centralized. You pull it all together in one place. My other favorite part about CRMs, which you just touched on, is this idea of it gives you a place to remember where you left off with that customer, with that client. You are not expected to remember everything about every past and present client in your database or every name in your phone. CRMs allow you to remember that and manage those relationships. I had an experience where one of the companies in my career I came in, massive company, 150 plus employees, triple figure $1 million company, no CRM, none. Everybody had their own contacts. And it wasn't till, gosh, well into my time with them that a CRM came about. It can have resistance because there's some work to setting it up, but this is one of those things. This is the investment to set it up. The long-term benefits, the long-term ROI are significant.
Yes. With your example, everybody had their own contacts. That flash of old timey Rolodexes came to mind that on your desk you had that. I mean, most listeners may not even know what a
What a Rolodex.
Rolodex. I'm dating myself. Oh my gosh. But Rolodex, that the little cards, and you knew your contacts. You had no idea if someone in the next cubicle was talking with the same contact or the same company, and you're not being cohesive with your communication. I can see also the importance of a centralized system. And there are so many great software systems out there that do certain things or all encompassing. But with a centralized system, you start gathering information and recording information so that your communication with them means more to them. When I was heavily involved in a local networking group, ran my chapter's meeting, and I had a system that I would gather the emails and the contact information of guests that came. They were immediately put in my CRM, and a follow-up email was generated to say, hey, thank you for visiting my chapter, and, just bridging that communication. Some of those folks came onto my email list and eventually came in as a client, or we worked together, or what have you. But it started there. And I can't tell you how often I've encountered folks that go to trade shows, things, and they gather contact information. Maybe they have a drawing at their booth and they're gathering business cards, and they come from that show. Maybe they have a giveaway from that collection of business cards, but they leave that event and don't do anything with those contacts. Have you encountered that?
Yes, this also goes back to when you don't have a CRM, and if you have multiple employees, everyone leaves with their own set of business cards from those trade shows. No cross-reference. The thing we're missing, I think, from some of the old school mentality is everybody kind of hoarded their business
Hordes.
cards, right?
They
Like,
hordes.
I want to get this sale, this deal, this connection. What CRMs allow is really to shift from competitiveness to cooperation, and cooperation will get you much further. Because if you have, I'm thinking of trade shows I used to participate in where we had marketing people, technical people, and everybody in between, and we would work together. If one person had a meeting, if the marketing person had a meeting, we'd bring the technical people to the meeting. Now we'd all know, and we'd meet their other counterparts. And all of a sudden we had a stronger connection to this client and multiple means of access, because you have to remember, not everybody stays in their job for a long period of time. If you only have one contact or one connection and they go somewhere, what happens? Where do you go? And the same thing, vice versa for your company. If somebody leaves, having a CRM allows you to keep everything seamless and pick up where you left off. But the business card thing is a big thing, and knowing what to do with them, right? So you come back with this stack of business cards. What are we going to do with them? So if you have a CRM, you can now add them to the CRM with the action notes, flag them as prospects, current clients, past clients, whatever your tags and categories may be. And you can assign people depending on the system. And we haven't talked about like systems yet, but depending on the system, you can even assign different people. Now, if you're solopreneur, the best part is, and you just met 20 different people at a trade show, allows you to write your notes of why you met them. Quick side note, best practice, as soon as you get back or you're on the plane back from the trade show, enter those business cards and make those notes. Do not do it a week or a month later, because you're going to look at the card and go, what was that one again? There's even other processes to implement, but those business cards, making a contact at a networking event, even just you're out and about on your daily errands and you bump into some potential clients or pick up some business cards, that's where the CRM comes in and really is a powerful tool.
And you can be a solopreneur, one person shop. But if you get in the habit and create those systems, like creating a system of, I vow that after a trade show, this is what's going to happen. What happens is if you go ahead and create these processes, it makes delegation easier in the long run. I know for some of my clients, they go to a trade show and we've been known, my team and I have been known to get a scanned copy of all the cards
right
that they encountered, and we would hand enter those in. It makes the client's process easier, saving them time. And when you get in the habit of using it yourself, so many folks, especially if you're starting out, it's like, I've got it all in my head. But when you're trying to save time, you need to systemize and make it easier for when you want to delegate certain things. You have systems in place to make that bridge of delegation so much easier, because you're getting things out of your head and into a system, into a piece of software.
When you were talking about that, two things came to mind. One is, I believe there are apps now. I don't remember the one I used. I think it was something called like Card Scan,
Oh,
where
yes.
using the camera on your phone, you can scan the business cards. It doesn't always pick up the information perfectly, but it's a good start. The other thing is solopreneurs, people doing it by themselves. When you start growing, at some point, you're going to need help, whether it's an agency that you hire to help you out, you hire on somebody, you bring on a family member, a close friend. Having a CRM now, there's this very easy way to introduce them to who are the current clients, what are the prospects. It's a great way to have conversation. And these people can now step in and know exactly where you left off. There's always a learning curve, but the CRM really advances where they come into the picture and saves you. Again, it's all about saving time and resources. Time is our biggest commodity, whether you're a solopreneur or an entrepreneur with a team. And the CRM is that first big step to saving time and really getting clear on who your audience is, where you are in the engagement stages with them. We use our CRM to identify 4 stages of engagement. So we do identify, which means we just know that they're out there. They've connected. Awareness means they've responded to something. They've clicked on a link. They've answered an email. They've asked us a question. Consideration is where we've gone so far and had a consultation, and now a proposal has been issued. And then decision is the final stage, whether they accept or not. If they don't accept, we have different tags to identify why they didn't accept. It also, in that case, while you never want to have the no on the decision, it does provide new data to help you learn from and grow.
There can be some confusion about which CRM. I mean, there's CRMs. Some things are not necessarily called a CRM. What should I buy? What should I get? I think that early on in a business, you could buy too much system than what you really need. It is okay to start somewhere, but you just need to start. One of the systems that I recommend and I used for years is Less Annoying CRM. It's a simple way that you can keep track of your contacts. You can have sales pipelines. You can have notes. And it marries nicely with MailChimp. And there's other systems out there. I'm not saying that that's the only way to go. But when you have an email system like MailChimp that marries nicely with a CRM that's doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but it has a great structure to get you started. you create that habit of using a CRM and with it connected to an email system like MailChimp, because technically MailChimp is a CRM. It's focused on email sending, and you can get data based off of the clicks and the interests of those folks on your email list, which filter over to the centralized system of less annoying CRM. Now, I'm not saying that that's the only way to go, but that's what I many times recommend, because I have also seen folks that purchase a system that is too robust for what they are right then and there in their system, in their business. And now I am converting. I've gotten to where I'm at a point in my business that it is time to upgrade my system. And I moved out of less annoying CRM and moved out of MailChimp and am implementing an all-in-one type of system. I believe I wasn't ready years ago, but it's important to have that system to get the team on board, get myself on board on using and creating the systems. Now I'm at the point of organizing. No matter how long you're in business and no matter how great your CRM is, you get messy. Your databases get messy. So you need to do some periodic cleanup. And right now I am at a rebirth of my CRM system to organize it, move out of one and make those connections better so that I can grow and scale my business the way I want to.
Gayla, along the lines of don't let the start stop you, I'm thinking of current client I'm working with, and adding in new systems right now is not the right recommendation for this particular client, but there's still a way forward. So even if it's as simple as looking at ways to better use, if you're in Microsoft, better use Outlook. If you're in Google, how to better use your Google contacts. All of these systems have ways to create categories and flags and tags and different ways to group and sort your contacts. So a really simple way to get started, use a system you already have, but get everyone in one place. So this happens a lot also with Google Contacts. If you have multiple calendars and multiple accounts, you could have Google Contacts in each account. Get all your contacts into one account and set up some simple tags. Past clients, current clients, prospective clients, whatever, however you want to do it. You could have whatever names you want. Keep it simple though. Don't have 20 different tags. Try to keep it under 5. But the number one first step should be get everybody in one place. And the beauty of these systems, and I'm actually in the evolution away from less annoying CRM. Again, nothing against them, love them, but I have growth ahead of me. Not that their system doesn't offer, it just doesn't match the growth I'm headed towards. Some people could be an LA CRM forever. But if you start somewhere simple, like your Outlook or your Google Contacts, and forgive me, I don't know what Siri offers. I've never used an Apple phone. But whatever Apple offers, get them all in one place. Here's the beauty about all the contact systems I've ever known. You can download all those contacts into a CSV file and upload them wherever you need to. I know less annoying CRM allows uploads. I know they also have downloads. I know that the new system I'm looking at with you is I can upload master lists. So this isn't re-entry. So this first step, pick a system, make an Excel table. I don't care. Those of you, so you love LA CRM. I love Airtable. Airtable is one of my favorite pieces of software. For those who like Excel and databases, Airtable takes it to a whole new level, making it so easy to pivot and group information. Create your contacts in there. And you could then create different views in Airtable. For anyone who's familiar with it, once you have your master grid of information in there, you can create different views. You can create a Rolodex kind with the little cards, or pick a system. There's plenty out there that are free. Get everybody in one place. And that's your first big step. Then you have the time to look for the right system. But right now, there is a step you could take today.
And you and I, who specialize in communications and brand messaging and everything, we analyze, like if we're doing an email campaign, our brain immediately goes to, where are these contacts going? Is there a logical step? Anybody that wants to have me do a landing page for a free download or for a workshop or something like that, that they want to capture an email address. my first thought is, where is that going and what's the follow up?
Yes. Yes. What's the follow-up is probably could be its own podcast episode.
Right? The CRM or the system that you put in place, no matter what the tools, but the process of this is what's going to happen when this is triggered helps you amplify or scale your communication. Some of this is, for example, in a landing page type of scenario, you capture an email address and you have the follow-up steps. You can automate that communication instead of, oh, John Smith downloaded my little checklist. I better remember to call him on Friday, or I better remember to drop him a note. There are reasons why you should do one-off communications, but if you can systemize a good portion of follow-up type of emails and have those fire automatically, you are creating more touch points and you're helping yourself be everywhere, even though you can't be everywhere. You're leveraging your time, you're leveraging your communication when you have a CRM system.
Gayla, that is a really important thing to call out about automation. And one place that automation, another simple implementation tip, especially if you're a solopreneur. And I have two beautiful friends who do this, and I love it because they each manage their businesses as well as they are teachers. So a lot of the time they can't even be looking at their phones or their computers. There's big periods of their days where they cannot be in any way connected. So they have an auto reply that goes to any incoming messages that basically says, thank you for your message. I will get back to you in 24 to 48 hours. I'm in classes today, or whatever the message may be, because an important part of communication is nurturing the connection. So just because someone sent you an email, it's not over. You may know that you have classes today and tomorrow and the next day, and you can't get back to them, but they don't know that. So that simple automated response helps the new prospective person or your client feel seen, feel heard. Okay, they got my message. Okay, they'll get back to me. And it reminds them that everybody's dealing with something. It's not that your lack of response or non-instantaneous response is a reflection on them or your relationship. There's just these other normal day-to-day life things going on, and that is part of your process. If you select to say, I'll be back to you in 24 to 48 hours, you get back to them in 24 to 48 hours. If that's not a comfortable number for you, pick your number. It can say within 3 days. Whatever is right and best for you is what's right and best. But that's a great, simple automation to start. And it can be used actually for that one. Even if you don't have a system, again, using what you have, you could set that up as a vacation response in your email. So it's no longer an out of office. You would title it as thank you for your email. And it would just automatically respond to anyone during the times of the day that you're not available to be on your computer or your phone. So there are simple ways. All these things they can sound like a lot, but there are simple ways to get started.
Yes. Systemizing communications one step at a time. We like to say chunking it down, one little bit at a time. When you create those systems, then you are more engaged. You're more present. Even if it's an automation, you are more present, you're more engaged.
When you know that automation is there, it also takes a little pressure off you. In yoga, there's a great saying, be where your feet are. And that means, mentally be where your feet are. Don't be off in the past or the future. And knowing that that's there can take a lot of pressure off people. I have seen a difference in those that have implemented it, in that you can see they can be where they are, knowing that any emails coming in, any communications coming in, those people know. It sets the expectation and it takes the pressure off them that I have to answer this right now. I have to watch for that client's response. It's a game changer.
The realities of things is that there are challenges with CRMs. I think I told you once that your database is never going to be perfect.
So, Gayla, I remember that day to this day as clear as day. I remember before we talked being in a panic because we were working on this CRM. The more I clicked, the more not errors I saw, but oh my gosh, that person's not at that company anymore. Oh my gosh, that company isn't a prospect. They're a client now. Oh my gosh. And you got on the call with me and it's in a beautifully calming voice. You're like, CRM, stop expecting perfection because, and it's so true. While we should embark on everything we do in our lives to avoid the word perfect or perfection because we are all imperfectly perfect. And CRMs are the number one business tool that is imperfectly perfect. Even if you spent every waking moment today to get your CRM perfect, I guarantee you will change tomorrow. Someone will move companies, get promoted, a company might close, lots of things could happen. So you have to let go. And this might be hard for a lot of people out there, those type A's like us, but you have to let go of the idea of having a perfect CRM. I can still see that conversation, Gayla.
The data quality and maintenance in your CRM is important. So there
Yes.
needs to be a system of cleanup or organization. Like right now, I am going from one system to another more robust system. There's a lot of things to do, but in
Yes.
in uploading my contacts, I was strategic in how I uploaded them and labeled them a little bit differently. And there were some that I was like, it's time to let these go. But I have, and moving into my new system, I have a plan for communicating with certain folks that maybe I haven't communicated with in a while. They're not on my list, but I want to reach out, see how they're doing. So I have a plan for that. But I remember with our mutual client, in one of the things that my team and I did, we would ritually make sure that the tag of client and prospect were not both
Yes.
on a contact. Sometimes in certain automations that just happens. We had a process that once a month we would pull a report that of people that had both tags. And then we would, it's not a huge list, but we would systematically, especially if we did it once a month, systematically take the inappropriate tag off. So they're not getting the communications of client communications when they're really a prospect and should be getting the prospect and vice versa. And there were some other little checks and balances, figuring out certain things that if they were spam. I think if we saw free emails like Gmail or Yahoo in the client tag, then we needed to remove those because for that client, it was only business emails accepted. So there are certain things to enhance your quality and maintenance, and that is super great to delegate. You, as a solopreneur, can have a virtual assistant help you do that.
I love that, Gayla. Plan and process simplifies things. If you set a plan once a quarter, once a month, twice a year, whatever that frequency may be, and you have a simple checklist of what you're going to check in the CRM, things like the client process tagging, you're going to improve the relationships with your customers. You're going to better be aware of opportunities because in cleaning up the CRM, in doing a quick pass through, oh, yeah, I talked to Sarah last month. I haven't heard back from her. Let me check in. It's not just checking the CRM to see what has to be cleaned up. It's a great way to refresh yourself on where the growth opportunities are there, where you need to reach out. And it gives you a better platform to make the right next best decision. So it's that simple task of wanting to keep your CRM clean and up to date actually has business growth implications that go hand in hand. And once you get in the rhythm, it's a really good feel. We used to do this at that same job I mentioned. And then once they got the CRM, we did a quarterly check-in, me and my team. And it was our way to be like, okay, because we were working with a client market database where they changed daily. And we dealt with retail buyers and planners and product managers. There's high turnover in those jobs. So not only were we checking, is that still the right person we're talking to, but checking in, when's the last time we talked to them, especially if you're talking to a lot of people. If you're in business for a number of years and you have a pretty decent database of both past and present clients, having a CRM plan and regular process to check in is really good. I want to mention something here too. Past clients should not be ignored.
Absolutely.
Past clients is its own gold at the end of the rainbow and can have and should have a unique message. You can have communications that go to all, but then you should also have structured communications that go to each audience based on the mindset they're at. So current clients, right? You're going to focus on what you know about their current needs and reminding them of things that just, hey, we're here and we also do this. Past clients, it's a different tone. They've left. If you remember why you're going to add that in, you might say, hey, haven't heard from you in a while. Potential is a different structure. What's in it for you when you work with us? I also am a big believer that CRMs give the opportunity to identify what is a newsletter email blast from Constant Contact or MailChimp, and where are the personal individual email, phone calls, reach outs necessary, gut check. I should be calling Sarah. She shouldn't just, yes, I'll put her on this email blast, but then I'm going to call her and follow up and see how things are going. So that goes back to what's the follow-up. So CRMs just really birth so many other steps and engagement methods to really nurture engagement and make those opportunities blossom.
I love how you said that. And it's the different levels of engagement, and you have that gut feeling because it's like, I haven't talked with Fran today. I need to call her like right now or text her, because it doesn't have to derive from an automation. CRMs help you. I get things out of your head to remember. You can set tasks to, hey, it's been 6 months. That there are tasks that you can place in any CRM, really, that can help remind you, hey, it's been 6 months, and it better not be 6 months for me not talking to you, Fran, but but it's been 6 months. I want to just reach out. I want to have that because I met them at this event. I want to see how they're doing, do a check-in, and just build that relationship. And it helps you remember and be more thoughtful, be more engaging. And I think that it's very important, whether you have a team or not, getting things out of your head to help, so that you can clear your mind to be in the here and now. That's what a CRM, it helps you future think so that you can come back to things instead of like, oh, I've got to keep this in my file in my head that I better check in with this person in 6 months. When you're doing that client engagement or just, being a good friend, that's all that is building relationships.
Yeah, it's all personal, right? And that's what this CRM allows you to do, is really keep, maintain, and grow your connections.
Fran, I don't know. I think that we've covered a lot of things today. I appreciate everyone today listening, and we hope that you're inspired by today's episode to take action. And here's your action step. Start improving your CRM system this week, even if it's just one simple step. Take some idea from what Fran and I had talked about today and just commit to organizing your customer information systematically. Now remember, the key is to start somewhere, right? Don't let perfectionism hold you back. Any final words, Fran?
That last part is the whole thing for me. Start where you're at. Start where you're at, and remember, progress, productivity, plan. Replace perfection with one of those, and just start where you are and pick a step. Every step, no matter how small, is a step forward, right?
That's right. Remember, like Fran said, every successful journey begins with that first step. Don't let the start stop you from pursuing your dreams and creating the business and life you desire. Until next time, live full, work fun.